Gotta stop sobbing, oh, stop sobbing, stop sobbing. Hi everyone, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo. Want to help you get your mojo back. And if you know me, you know that I say that the planets in astrology don't do anything to you, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, and that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So that means you have power, and that the planets are simply reflecting a version of you, an energy of you. Isn't that kind of cool? Don't you feel better about that? Instead of thinking, oh no, that thing is doing something to me. You are not powerless. You are not ever powerless. So today we're going through the run of the planets and their definitions. And today we're going to be talking about Sagittarius and Gemini. No, we're not. We're going to be talking about Sagittarius and Jupiter. It had a J sound. That's why I got so confused. Okay, so thanks for joining me. And if you're joining me in a replay, remember, live or replay, remember to like, to share with your friends, your family, your peeps. And if you're on YouTube, to also subscribe and click the little bell. You can ring my bell, ring my bell. Okay, Jupiter. Jupiter looks like the number 4, and Jupiter is our largest planet in the vicinity. And it's, let's see, wait a minute, I also have, there it is. Jupiter guides the sign of Sagittarius. So you'll be triply interested to listen today, because if you are a Sagittarius sun, rising, or moon, or you have Jupiter in Sagittarius, then this will really apply to you. So let's just get started. Let me know that you're here. Come say hello. And then let's just talk about it, okay? Jupiter was discovered by Galileo Galilei. Isn't that so melodic? La, 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 la. In 1610. And the symbol itself represents receptivity from above and beyond the material. That's what they deemed it as long, long ago in another galaxy. And let's see, what else about Jupiter? Represents expansion and philosophy, religion, spirituality, contracts, law, travel, cultural affairs. And it takes about 11.9 years for Jupiter to go through every single constellation. So it'll spend about 1 year, because it'll go into retrograde and then move into direct motion. It'll spend about a year in one sign. So I want you to think about this, that whenever Jupiter enters a new constellation or a new sign, right now it's in the sign of Capricorn, and whenever Jupiter does move into a new sign, I want you to just look back approximately 12 years within 12 months to see what was happening in my life during that time frame. And did it apply to publishing, cultural affairs, travel? Did it apply to expansion on any level? On philosophy, on religion, spirituality? And I feel like I have to sneeze. I don't want to. No. No, I don't want to. So when you look back 12 years, you get an idea of what Jupiter represented in your life and where it shows up in your chart. You might have been born with Jupiter in Libra, but now that Jupiter is in Capricorn, it will show you those definitions of expansion or contraction, overindulgence. Maybe it's publishing in your chart in a different area than where it was originally designated on the day you were born. Does that make sense? So you want to look at who you were 12 years ago-ish, within 12 months, and what was expanding? Why did it not fully expand? Are you revisiting something? Because Jupiter is in retrograde right now. And as we move to the next level of awareness in what expands in your world, is it your waist that's expanding because you're at home not working out and you're just eating? Is it your ideology that's expanding? Is it your ability to utilize compassion and spirituality to help others expand? Are you writing? Are you publishing? Are you signing contracts? Are you researching? Because all the definitions, and it spends about 4 months in retrograde, Jupiter does. So what is it that you're looking at with Jupiter and Sagittarius? And it may not be, let me just get rid of this. Hang on. And it may not be very overt. It might be subtle. It might be a big wow in your world. Jupiter shows up to the party and wants to know, hey, been anywhere lately? Travel anywhere? What have you designed? Are you involved in the arts? But then Jupiter can also represent the part of you that is very skeptical and cynical and gregarious and just gives it all away, or is questioning, why are you giving it all away? You get a motive behind that generosity? What's the deal? So skepticism on one end, total optimism on the other, right? And anything that's enthusiastic represents the Jupiter vibe, and sometimes a Sagittarius, sun, rising, or moon, will have an issue. I mean, anybody can, any sign, but specifically Sagittarius, sun, rising, or moon, will have a health issue during their life that often relates to their own authority. Because on some level, conscious, unconscious, subconscious, non-conscious, they are fighting the authority figure. So that translates into a health issue. So what's the authority figure about? Father, the idea of God being masculine, a religious figure, a doctor, someone you would think is the authority in a professor, a teacher, someone you would think is the authority in your life. And so if on some level you are fighting taking the ownership of your industry, your field, your expertise, you might experience an expansion of certain health issues. Or suddenly the door opens and people are saying, hey, you know so much, you should write a book about that. Or have you ever thought of, being the spokesperson for, or what about, bringing together different tribes, like here in Arizona. They're looking for donations and food and help and medical supplies, etc. So, that's a cultural thing. You might have been born in a different country and then you married someone American or vice versa. You see, so, your Sagittarius, not just Sagittarius, but Jupiter represents someone who is very sensitive, yes, and can expand on those wonderful thoughts, yes, or experiences, absolutely, but can get very defensive as well because of that sensitivity. So that's what we're looking at. Now, with Jupiter currently in the sign of Capricorn, it's looking back 12 years within 12 months. It might have been 11 and a half years ago. It might have been 11 years ago. It might have been 12 and a half years ago. But what were you working on? Capricorn energy works, loves to work, build, set the structure. So what were you doing at that time that now is coming back? Because remember, we're in a retrograde. So sometimes Jupiter can go to the extremes of such gregariousness, such generosity, such being so loud, being the one who doesn't stop talking, being the one who doesn't stop moving or traveling. And then suddenly they're overwhelmed. And then they go to the ashram. They hide out in their house for a few months. They live off the land. They build a house in the middle of the woods. They just got to shut off the noise. So, Jupiter can represent that too, an indulgence. Indulgence in, it's okay, I can have 3 more cookies. It's all right. I've been so good lately. So come say hello to me today. We're talking about Jupiter. Hey, let me check in. Hi, Carlene, Sagittarius Sun. Hi, Christine, also. And you showed up first. First one to the party. So we have a lot of Sages here today. Come say hello. We're talking about Jupiter that guides the planet Sagittarius, but it is now in Capricorn. So what does that look like for any sign? Any sign is, well, you know what? Let me open up my computer program, my astrology computer program, and we'll talk about that. Let's really get into that. I didn't think to do that. I was out this morning running around with errands. Okay, so let's see. Hang on. Let's see now. Okay, so let's do a run through. I'm going to talk about what Jupiter in Capricorn basically looks like for each of the signs. So let's start with Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, Jupiter in Capricorn for you is all about building wealth, building an income, building that sense of self-worth that helps you to produce whatever it is you want to put out there into the world. But remember this, Sagittarius Sun, rising and moon, you are not a commodity. You're not an hourly wage earner. Let's think in terms of a product or a service that does not bring you down, causes you to give way too much, where you're undercharging, you're not charging what you're worth, and where you, if you're in business, or if you're not in business, this is all about the self-worth, Sagittarius, Sun, rising, and moon, so that you have this ability to move through how do I want to make my money? How do I want to spend my money? How do I feel about my resources? And will I allow the flow to move? That's a big issue right now. So consider that you've been put on notice by Jupiter in Capricorn, Sagittarius, Sun, rising, and moon, to up your level of self-worth. Okay? So I'm going to write this down so I don't forget, but I took my pad out of here. No, wait, paper, no. Oh wait, I found a sheet of paper. Fantastic. Come say hello to me. Listen, if you're listening to this in a replay on Facebook or YouTube, please share with your friends. Please comment, like, subscribe, and share. Okay, now we're going to look at Jupiter in Capricorn, Sagittarius. That is the second house in astrology. Okay? Now, let's go right to Capricorn. That is the first house. Right? First house, Capricorn. This has a lot to do with, oh boy, your whole health routine. Are you expanding on carbs? Are you expanding on, or a new belief system that helps you to take back control and power of your ability to heal? Question mark. Yeah, that's what we want to know. Capricorn, Sun, rising, and moon. with Jupiter in Capricorn, you have the ability to expand. Remember, wherever Jupiter is, you expand. Not because the planet's doing it to you, but because you're ready to expand on a specific topic. So you're ready to expand on your health, your well-being. And that means your bones, your skin, your teeth, your nails, your joints, your basic structure in your body. So if you are working out a specific way that is starting to hurt you, it's time to change the routine. If you've been eating a certain way that, adds on the pounds or the insulin resistance, it brings down your immunity. You need to change that up, okay? So first house is also about your personality, Capricorn. So you ready to be more expansive, ready to share more of who you are? That's what Jupiter in Capricorn is all about for you. So you take advantage of this. When Jupiter's in a sign, you take advantage of the expansion opportunities. Okay, Aquarius. I'm just going to run through these quickly so you get a basic idea of what we're talking about here. Let's see. I have to go backwards on this screen. Let me see. So with Jupiter in Capricorn... Oh my goodness. I want to tie in something. I want to go backwards. I want to tie in something for Sagittarius. I talked about Jupiter in Capricorn in a way that was not wholly correct. I want to add something to it. The imagery that you have, I'm going back to Sagittarius. I'm going to backtrack here. The imagery that you have of what abundance looks like, Sagittarius, what is that? Your self-worth is dependent upon your ability to expand, right? But if you have a belief that expansion only looks like that picture or is because of that person or that it doesn't happen to you, there's a limitation you need to overcome. Now, Saturn is big. Saturn rules Capricorn. And with Jupiter in Capricorn, and also Saturn in Capricorn these days, your whole idea of wealth, health, passion, purpose, it's the whole gamut. It's the whole thing. Is not something that is serving you right now. There's parts of it, yes. But let's consider going back in time through meditation, through hypnosis, through energy work, so that you can disassociate your worth with a trauma. Now, I talked about it being related to a masculine authority figure, but let's go further. It's basically your own ability to utilize your own energy. You're a proactive energy instead of reactive energy, all right? I just wanted to qualify that. Okay. So that helps because, I'm looking at Aquarius now, and Aquarius is sharing some of the very similar things I just talked about with Sagittarius, and that is if you need to redefine Aquarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon, are you ready to redefine that idea and image that you have of what's powerful, of what's appropriate for you, what's healthy, so that you can live the life that you want to live? And I know many Aquarius and Aquarius rising signs right now, and Aquarius moon signs as well, who are basically looking at the, I want to say this in a way that makes sense, basically looking at the limitations that they've created based on their perceptions. Aquarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Like thinking you're not good enough, or you don't know enough, or you're not ready, or what if you make this decision? What if you make the wrong choice and then this one over here, this opportunity goes away? So, what I tell a lot of Aquarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon people is that there's enough of everything to go around. Aquarius, there's enough of everything to go around. So as you alter that belief, you start to really expand with your health and well-being. Okay. Let me just check in before I continue on. Let me say hello to people. Christine says, I'm trying to wrap my head around being limitless. Okay, that's an excellent point. This is for every sign. I'm going to use that as a teaching tool. Thank you, Miss Sagittarius. Limitless. What's the opposite of limitless for anyone listening? Because whatever the limitations are, you see boundaries. Now, some boundaries you have to have, whether you're in spirit form or physical form. You have to have. You just won't allow anyone to walk into your house, right? The front door is a boundary. So being limitless requires that you explore the definition of the opposite. What is a limitation? Hi, Talitha's here as well. So what is your limitation? Because whatever you think the limitation is, that's where you're stopping limitlessness. All right, I'm just going to quickly write this down. If you can bear with me for a moment, I want to make sure I get this correctly. So Capricorn, first house, Aquarius, 12. If we've got Sag, that's second house, plus you share some 12th house stuff going on. Scorpio. We're going to do Scorpio is third house. Pisces, I'm looking at some certain combinations of things, not just Jupiter. So thank you for bearing with me. See, because Pisces, you've got Neptune there. We're going to do a combo deal. I'm going to look at the 11th house for you. Pisces. I'm just doing this on the fly, so thanks for your patience. Aries, definitely career. And then let me move this over so I can see it better. Okay. So then oh boy. Virgo, we're going to look at your 5th house. Leo, we are going to look at your health and your work. Cancer, we're going to look at your partnerships, right? And then Gemini. Well, Gemini, we've got some joint resources we're going to talk about. And who did I miss? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Who did I miss? Libra. I'm so sorry. Never did I want to ever. Okay, Libra, we're talking about the home. And yeah, I think we got everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Got them. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. All right. Now, Jupiter and Capricorn. I'm going to start over. Well, Sagittarius, you got yours. Capricorn, you got yours. Aquarius, you got yours. Aries, 10th house, career. So with Jupiter and Capricorn, I want you to look back 11 and a half to 12 and a half years ago. And the thing that you were doing just to make money, Aries, sun, rising, and moon, what would you do differently now if you had to work? Maybe you're looking at retiring. Maybe you're looking at shoring up your resources or calling in those markers for people that you gave, help to years ago, and now they're coming back around. So Aries, sun, rising, and moon, 10th house. I want you to look at how you can work from home. I mean, everybody's doing that now, right? Or how you can make it a safe environment for people to join your crusade. Is it a crusade? I don't know. Do you want to be traveling? I don't know. Have travel plans been put on hold? Most likely. Aries, sun, rising, and moon. So, but you can enact something everybody can enact something very different now and appropriate. But you got to go back 10, 11 and a half, 12 and a half years ago and see what were the recurring themes. That's what you want to look at. Okay, Cancer. I'm just jumping around here. Cancer, the partnerships that you have right now, whether they be a marital partnership, a business partnership, high-end clients, your vendors, even open adversaries, your competition, you can learn from people now. You can model their behavior if you think it's going to benefit you. So don't just think, oh, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, that it's got to be this way and this way only. You know, the downside of a Jupiter energy is thinking that there's only one way. The upside is knowing that there's many possibilities and you start to explore through the channels of communication. Because, you know, Jupiter represents the publishing. It's about disseminating information, but gathering it first from different cultures, different societies, different industries. What does somebody else do? How did they, model somebody else's technique? And you will have a surefire winner on your hands in a partnership. Now, if that's a business partnership, if we're just looking at a relationship, what Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, what were you going through 11 and a half-ish to 12 and a half-ish years ago where it didn't work in your marriage? Maybe you're single and you said, no, I got divorced and, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. So, okay, now let's revisit the idea of coupling, of partnership, of what are the limitations? What are the things that you feel are stopping you from having that partnership? Okay, Cancer, because you can certainly express that in a counseling kind of thing, or you could express it to your partner if you've got one. Excuse me. Okay, Libra, let's talk about mom energy. Now, if you're raised in a single parent household, it could be the lack of mom. Maybe mom abandoned you. Maybe same-sex household. Maybe it's the softer, more feminine version of that gender or person. But typically right now, Libra, sun, rising, and moon, we're looking at the shadow side of how you can move that energy and be the person. Fourth house deals with your own identity, your inner identity, not just home and four walls and the mother or the maternal influence, but who do you want to be right now? How do you want to be? So you need to explore that, let go of those attachments too. So with Jupiter there, it's an expansion through the past structure. Maybe mom in the past had no discipline. Maybe mom in the past had so much discipline that you couldn't breathe. Maybe mom in the past, or your experience, your inner identity of how you perceived the feminine parent, whether they were present or absent. And then you could be present and be very absent simultaneously, right? Libra, sun, rising, and moon. What happened that made you think, I don't ever want to be like that? Because that's the shadow. That's the limitation. So as you work on that, you start to open up avenues in your own world. That's very cool. Okay, Scorpio, third house. Jupiter in Capricorn for you is, I've talked about this before with all of you, but in different ways. But I want you to look at how you set up your ideas, your thoughts, your perceptions, your beliefs. Because now is a time of expanding through it, but going backwards because Jupiter is retrograde. So you want to go back into your thoughts and think, oh, I used to believe that, but I don't anymore. Or I don't believe that. Did I ever? Should I? How do I feel about that? What do I think about that? Because if you're cynical, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, you're going to have a harder time changing your mind because you're attached to the one thing that you think, oh, it's never going to change. That's who they are. That's what it is. Well, maybe not. Because your expansion now comes through understanding the principle of the mantra to free the mind. A mantra frees the mind. So Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, what's your mantra? Are you feeling limited? Are you contracting? This might also have to do with siblings as well. Maybe they're the ones who are limited and you're trying to change their mind or get them to see something that they refuse to see. But if you're present, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon, what is your mantra? What would you like it to be? What's the possibility? If there were no problems at all ever, what would be possible? Okay, Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. Moving on, Pisces. Oh, Pisces, because you also have your own muse, Neptune, in your sign. We're looking at the letting go of the disillusionment of, oh my gosh, I spent 10 years attached to blah, blah, blah. I spent 10 years addicted to la, la, la. I spent all this time away from home because I just couldn't be myself. Or I was always at home and now I want to branch out. I want to get to know different groups, different people. With Jupiter and Capricorn, this is all about not just children, grandchildren, groups, memberships, and elders, but assuming a role now. What can help you to become more knowledgeable, expansive, but also for the group? How can you be the leader? Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. How can you be the leader right now without giving up, with having boundaries intact, but without giving up certain parts of yourself that, it's tricky for Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, because they want to withhold, but yet they want to serve. So it's like you give it all, wear your heart on your sleeve, or you hide and project an image of perfection and expansion when deep down, you're crying, or, you're imbibing, and then you give a false presentation. Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. So you want to find the healthy balance. Jupiter in Capricorn represents your healthy balance with groups right now. So what are the boundaries that you need to set with yourself and them? What are the things you'd like to express? What are the things you feel if you expressed, they would go away? Or it would be too scary to be that vulnerable. That's where you want to go, Pisces. Taurus for us. I'm plowing through this. Come say hello. Join me. Taurus, you're an earth sign just like Capricorn. And so this is going to help. Excuse me. This is going to help you expand on, first, the awareness of what's possible in business. Excuse me. And second, how you can create not just a legal contract, but it could be a program you're creating. It could be an ideology. It could be a new consciousness you've just been introduced to, or you were 11 to 12 years ago and now you're revisiting. You're saying, oh, wow, I read that book like so long ago. Publishing. It's not just about publishing your own book or program or course or class, but it's also about going over the things that you've learned already. Revisiting, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. Let's revisit your knowledge, your wisdom. What do you believe is true? What are you now ready to apply that you once, you did a training course 11 years ago with Tony Robbins, and now you're ready to actually implement. That's okay. Whatever time it took, it took. Excuse me. And we've got, I don't know if you heard any of my previous live shows, but just the house next door, next to them is an empty lot, and there's a lot of digging going on. There's a lot of dust in the air. So Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, are you ready to expand on your knowledge? Are you ready to read more, learn more, study more, re-implement? Maybe you tried it once and it didn't work for me. Well, now it's different. So look at becoming limitless through your possibility, through your knowledge, through your wisdom, through training, through understanding, through revamping those thoughts, beliefs, ideas that you once had about health, well-being, spirituality, travel, contracts themselves, the law, Some opportunities are coming your way very soon where literally you could make a lot of money, or literally you could become well known in your field. Suddenly someone looks at you and says, "Where have you been? You're like the best kept secret." Okay, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. Communicate well, listen well, be present, everyone. All right, who do we miss? Virgo. Virgo, with Jupiter, you're also an earth sign. And with Jupiter transiting the area dealing with children, romance, creativity, it's about looking back 11 and a half to 12 and a half years ago and saying, what did I do in my world that either pushed away a romantic connection or embraced it so much that I made it my all, and now I don't have it. Maybe they moved on. Maybe you divorced. Maybe they passed away. Maybe it was just an idea in your head, a feeling of, oh, I would really love this kind of relationship, but it never happened. So now you have the opportunity and possibility to be conscious about where you stop yourself from being really intimate. I'm not talking just sex. I'm talking intimacy. Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. Into me, you see. Now that applies to children as well. So if you adopt a more childlike, not childish, attitude about your possibility and your potential to have more fun now, you can have more fun. It's okay. You deserve it. Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. With Jupiter and Capricorn, I think it's a time for you to also start to design something, create something. Jupiter is an energy that really loves to broaden and branch out and try something new. So maybe you did some oil paintings 11 years ago or 12 years ago, or maybe you decided, oh, I want to learn how to build my own barn. Whatever it was, I want you to revisit some form of creation so that you start to feel empowered on a creative, very practical, very not just practical, but it would be, who was it? Scorpio. Yeah. Using mantras to create a new mindset. All right? To free the mind and set up a new structure through creation, through children, through romance, through the idea of, I love giving birth to this thing. All right? Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. Plowing through. Leo, your health, your business, your connections, your relationships through health. Maybe you're a doctor, a facilitator, a chiropractor. Maybe you're someone who needs to see one of those people. Maybe you're looking at, I'm so just dang tired. Then give your body what it needs. With Jupiter in the 6th and the 12th houses, sometimes the 8th and the 4th, but you definitely have, you tend to gain weight unless you're really focused on not. So if you're getting tired, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, if your body is healing on whatever level, it's going to go through expansion and contraction in a way that you're thinking, I'm eating the right foods, I cut out the sugar, why am I gaining weight? Well, the weight could relate to an emotion, or the weight could relate to another emotion. You see where I'm going with this? Or the weight could relate to how you practice business. Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you dehydrated? Everyone dehydrates when they wake up in the morning. You go to the bathroom, you're dehydrated. You got to replenish. So do the basics, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, please. Take care of your body, because your body is trying to heal, and it will slow down or speed up depending on what you give it. The nutrients you allow it, the rest that you need. And this applies to small pets as well. So maybe you're okay, but you have a pet, you've been up all night because they're old or they're ill or they're infirm or they've just had an operation, or you work as a vet tech or something. And you're on double duty now. So Leo, sun, rising, moon, really give yourself a chance to heal by not expanding on the things that create negative spirals. You want to remember Jupiter's retrograde, and during the retrograde, during the retrograde, everybody, especially Leo, Sun, Rising, and Moon, your health, you're going to revisit things from your past, old aches and pains. It's like, well, I haven't felt that in years. You know, I once broke my ankle and la, la, la. Now my foot's hurting. So your body's talking to you. You need to listen. All right, Leo, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And then you can expand productivity. So set up a healthy structure. Okay, Gemini, last but never least. Whew, that was like speed dating. That was like speed dating. Gemini. This is a really, and remember that whatever your sun is, listen also to the rising and the moon sign, because as you do that triad of combo, you're going to get so much information. I need a hairdresser. Everybody around here has stopped working. I'm cutting my own hair. That's not okay. Gemini, this ability to see between the lines, understand something, to really ponder the truth. You know, Jupiter for you is about looking at what's true for you and how to set that financial structure for your future, your legacy, your children, for estate planning for a family member perhaps. But deep down, it is about really looking at what has limited you. What has limited you so that you stopped yourself from having a beautiful, expansive, sensual experience. Sensuality is feeling. Sexuality is the connection to someone else for that feeling, for the expansion to happen through a person. But if there's no other person, sensuality comes through, oh, you might get really excited about making money. Woo, great, yay. Then you bank it. Then what? Maybe you're helping other people to make money, but you're just making minimum wage. What the heck? So now it's time to expand and broaden your mind on 11 to 12 years ago. What did you do, or what didn't you do, that stopped you from having this sensual experience of, I'm connected to pure conscious love, that's who I am. I'm connected to the divine, that's who I am. I have ultimate power. You know, why are you not using it? Not to manipulate, not to coerce, but what are the limitations? And those limitations can also look like, I have debt. All right, people, and Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, there's many kinds and forms of debt. There's spiritual debt, financial debt, emotional debt, right? Intuitive debt, physical debt. So when you look at where you are lacking, Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, I want you to go deep dive into meditation. Also mantra. Mantra, free the mind. Why? Are you getting scattered? Are you thinking, oh, that's really great, but it's not for me because I don't have enough qualifications. Or, yeah, I worked really hard and I got denied for the promotion. Why? Or, I'm doing this thing, it makes me nuts, but it's a good paycheck. Okay, so if that's the case, then you take some cash, you put it towards something, that's for your future, yes, but you also put it towards something that gives you joy. You got to bring the body, mind, spirit connection together, Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, because it's disparate. It's disassociated. So you might have $10,000 in your personal checking account and you go, yeah, I don't have any money right now. I can't spend it on that Zumba class online because, I got to save for my future. Okay, well, but you're living in the present, the now. So where's the disconnect between I am abundant and I have abundance and I can't use my abundance? Or you're working really hard to have this fantastic relationship, but you fall short. It comes up short. And it could be that someone passed away in the past 12 years and you just haven't recovered, and that's sad, right? Grief is hard, So big hugs, but also remember that the part of you that wants to connect can connect if you allow it and stop putting the past, old crap, on a new situation. All right, Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, your expansion can happen through meditation now, through putting a little bit of energy, love, resource, cash, joint venture, collaboration in the mix of this is possible. Does that make sense? That was so fast. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Now I can chat with you. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about Jupiter expansion. And let me just get rid of Jupiter right now because we've seen it. Jupiter expansion. And in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn represents the structure, bones, teeth, skin, nails, the basic body structure of your world, the financial structure, the relationship structure, all the infrastructure of the framework of how you set up expansion. So let's say you wanted to make money in general, and that's one form of expansion, let's say. But abundance doesn't just apply to money, because if you're an abundant person, you allow flow. Flow, where you been? Hanging out with Joy? Come into my world. So when you have that flow, you see expansion with your health, your wealth, your passion, your purpose. Make sense? And when you don't have the flow, and we're in a Capricorn energy, Saturn's in Capricorn, Pluto's in Capricorn, Jupiter's in Capricorn. Capricorn represents the limitations, but the structure and taking the time to make it be what you need to ascend, to arrive, to have completion. So Jupiter wants to, boom, expand. Capricorn's like, hang on, stop sign. Go no further until further notice. So when you're looking at expanding, when you're looking at where the contraction is, just be really present, people. Really present with, oh, that's coming back around again. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard from you in 12 years. What you been doing? And they tell you, and you say, oh my gosh, wow, I've wanted to do that too. How did you get started? How did you do that? Or you're the one who's sharing the knowledge. Now, people, anybody doing anything, everybody has their own talent. And if you are not practicing what you preach, you're going to feel contraction. Does that make sense? Listen, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo here. If you're just joining us, please listen to the replay. If you're on Facebook, please comment and share with your friends. Let people know that I'm here. I am looking to expand my reach. And it's going to happen through people. So I don't have any qualms about asking for help. So share my information. Pass my link along. If you're watching this on a YouTube replay, please subscribe and like. Click the little bell button, and then you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. How does that sound? Who's with me? Hello? Let me know you're here. Let me know you're listening. Okay, what planet shall we talk about on Thursday? We've already done Pluto, Jupiter. I'm going to go with Saturn since we're talking about all these planets in Capricorn. Let me just wrap up the Saturn contingency. And let's talk about Saturn on Thursday. Yeah. And that would apply to Capricorn, of course, Sun, Rising, and Moon, and Saturn in Capricorn. But also it applies to where you are ready and willing and able to set a new framework and architecture for your expansion. Is it so? Is it true? Is it possible that you could be you? Hey, I just rhymed. All right, folks, thanks for being here. Thank you for being. Please be sparkly, be healthy, be safe. And as always, I wish you peace. I will be back on Thursday, and we're going to talk about Saturn through the signs in Capricorn, which is also retrograde. Okay. Thank you. Bye.